Good evening, everybody. I see you've got a few comments streaming already. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds for people to join. Keep the comments rolling in. I was going to do this live actually on Locals tonight, which is where all of you should be if you're not. We are only 116 community members shy of having 10,000 people on our Locals community right now, and that is the future. They usually will let us do lives there, but because of some glitch that they are having at Locals, they actually took down the live possibility today. I don't know if it was some of those other things that you've seen with the internet and Amazon that were having some major issues today. Not sure what it was, but they're going to have it fixed in the next 24 hours. But I wanted to get with you. So here we are on our YouTube channel, our Facebook locations as well. And then we're going to share it over to the Locals community. So if you haven't joined there, please go to the standupmichigan.locals.com and join. There is still a promo code that's available, but it's $3 a month, and you can get censorship-free videos and information and content. So I wanted to cover a few things, but this is the night we're going to be drawing the winner of the quilt. I don't know how many of you out there might have purchased a ticket, but I have all of the names right here in this mug right here. Over 100 of these names in here for the tickets that were purchased. And at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to pull out the name, and I've got the quilt right here. I'll show it to you in just a little while. I know we've done some posts about it, so you've probably seen it as well. But I wanted to give you an update on a few things. You know, we keep talking about the fact that we're winning, and I didn't want to put that on there again because everybody is so tired at times with one battle after the other, but it is really important for us to look a little deeper than our current situation and look at what has been happening in the courts over the last 3 to 4 weeks. The reason I say that is we're finally seeing two things. One is that the Constitution of the United States and the laws that are there to protect our individual rights and liberties, the separation of powers from the administrations, just like it is with our governor. We've had to put them in check, but they run completely unchecked until a court demands that they follow the law. Same thing is happening with the Biden administration currently. And as you know, many of these mandates, from federal mandates of face masks to the jabs and other things, are all being done and in an effort, first of all, to get corporations to do their bidding for them. And yet, they have tried to make everyone believe, and the media has followed the narrative completely, right lockstep, that the federal government has the ability to control you in every aspect of your life. And if you'll just consent and conform, don't worry, we will take care of you. That's the world that we now live in over 18 months of this madness. And so it is important now that we're getting down to this level of attempted control that we are seeing the courts finally step up. That's number one. I'll talk about those things in a minute. The second thing is that elections do have consequences. And I know many of you might remember or recall that during the time that President Trump was in office, he actually put more judges, federal judges, appellate judges on the bench than any other president had just about in history. He had replaced people. He had replaced many on the Ninth Circuit, many of our big circuit courts, as well as all the way down to the local appellate courts and so on. Lots and lots of conservative people, real conservatives, were put into these judgeships. And so we're now seeing the Fifth Circuit, the Sixth Circuit. You hear those there. Those are regional based federal courts that are making rulings based on these things. And these rulings have been in favor of freedom and liberty and against oppression and tyranny. It's a fact. It's the world that we live in today, but they have so overplayed their hand. The Democratic elected officials don't care about the law either, obviously, and we have to expose them for what they are. They don't care about checks and balances. They don't care about the rule of law. They only care about one thing, that's power, that's control, and they want a very large federal government who can control all things. Your business, your life, your schools, your children, whatever it might be. They want to ultimately have control. And they believe if they have control over the tax dollars and what goes, then you have to follow their mandates and their rules. But the courts are saying not so fast. So, about a week ago, you saw that there was a ruling that affected 10 or 12 states that blocked the federal mandate, federal employee mandate. Now, what this meant was any private corporation, any corporation at all that did business with the federal government under any federal contract had to force the jab on all of its employees in order to achieve or to receive or to continue with federal contracts. And so that was obviously challenged in multiple states. And that particular judge ruled and put a halt to that in 12 states. Now, the OSHA mandates, as you've probably seen, if you haven't been seeing any of our posts and areas, the OSHA mandates are even crazier because they attempted to move down to 100 employees or less or more on all across the country, as well as to maybe already discussing moving it down to 10 or more, meaning all businesses would have to fall under these mandates. We kept telling you, and Tammy and Kristen, who have been traveling this country, literally screaming at the top of their lungs everywhere that they can be heard, of the fact that this is not legal, it is not binding, they cannot change the standard, and they have continued to produce reports. A lot of you have downloaded, hundreds of you have downloaded the latest report. So that I'm going to bring up to you. So that was done on a nationwide basis, that the originally the Fifth Circuit had put a halt on those OSHA mandates, saying that they had absolutely had totally overreached. And what happened was it was then appealed, and it was going to go, because it was there were lawsuits filed in multiple jurisdictions. They did what they call a lottery, and that means they would choose one of the district courts that would hear the case. Now, as you know, there are some very liberal districts and there are some very conservative districts, and there are some that fall in the middle. The Fifth Circuit is probably where they would have loved for it to stay, since that's where the stay actually happened. But it actually went into the lottery, and it was drawn to be the Sixth Circuit. Well, the Sixth Circuit is probably the second or third favorite or the best jurisdiction that we could have chosen in a lottery. I believe God is in control of many things that are happening. But this brings me back to President Trump's appointments. 11 of the 16 judges that sit on that appellate court are appointed by Republican presidents, including, I believe it was 5 or 6 of them by President Trump. And originally they thought it might go to a 3-panel, and the Sixth Circuit did, as a 3-panel, say, we're going to uphold the stay from the Fifth Circuit until the case is completely heard, meaning that the OSHA mandates will not be able to go forward. As you know, OSHA and the Biden administration had gone forward and said, don't pay attention to those courts. We're going to get a ruling in our favor. We want the corporations to enact these anyway. We basically want you to go against the current law. It's just a stay. It really doesn't mean anything. And so when this was sent to the Sixth Circuit, they came down and said this case is going to be heard by the entire circuit, not just a group of 5 or 3 judges, which sometimes can decide these cases. And so what that has done is it has actually now put that to where it is very, very favorable to us, especially with the rulings we've heard from the lower courts, the Fifth Circuit, and the 3-judge panel in the Sixth Circuit, which means that we have a very, very good likelihood of this being upheld. Now, there are other lawsuits that are going on, but until then, all of these OSHA mandates are illegal. Any jurisdiction, any county official, any health department, any school system that says they are following what is necessary by January is lying to you. So do not listen to them. You have to show them the law, show them what's on the books. And OSHA has actually stopped going forward, again, not only with any enforcement, but with any basically implementation of this. Now they're planning for it. If they can get a ruling, they're going to go in a hurry. Does it remind you of the time when the Supreme Court of the state of Michigan said to our governor, you have no more authority and all of your executive orders are gone in 2020 in October? And she said, I have 20 more days. And the courts were like, no, you don't have 20 more days. But she used a couple of those days. The media was complicit, so she could pivot quickly to the health department and have them take over all of those mandates and a lot of those executive orders. And so it's the same thing the Biden administration are trying to do, but with OSHA, they simply aren't going to be able to do it. So the reason I wanted to bring this up to you is that Tammy and Kristen and a about 7 other OSHA credentialed experts in the field of occupational health and safety have created a peer document, a document that is on the homepage of our new website. If you have not downloaded that document yet to be shared with your employer or with anyone who does not understand what challenges they face when a court finally hears this, we urge you to go there. And I'm going to talk about that website in a minute. But the first thing I want to do before we go there is I want to bring up the latest case that happened today. I mentioned to you only 11 or 12 of the states under the federal mandate, federal employee mandate, were going to be covered under that stay that happened in that court. But a Georgia court just today issued a ruling, and I'm going to read it to you because it came down at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We posted it in the I think our Facebook group and on locals as well. But I want to read it for those of you that are listening now and maybe listening as you're driving later or something. The federal court on December 7th blocked President Joe Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for federal contractors. Georgia and other plaintiffs suing Biden over the mandate will likely succeed in their claim that the president exceeded his authority given to him by Congress. U.S. District Judge Republican Stan Baker, a Trump nominee, did you hear that? A Trump nominee, wrote in a 28-page decision agreeing to enter a preliminary injunction. Baker barred Biden and his administration from enforcing the mandate in any state, an expansion of the November 30th ruling that applied just to 3 states. If you remember, there was another jurisdiction, I think it was to 10 or 11 states. The mandate was going to go into effect January 4th, 2022. This is the thing that a lot of health departments have taken on to. It's also what many corporations have said that they have to get ready for. So they're going to so-called implement this. You need to show them this ruling to say this isn't happening. Goes on to say, unless it is blocked by the courts, the deadline originally delayed in November was initially set for December the 8th. Yet another one of President Biden's vaccine mandates has been temporarily shut down because the state, including Idaho, took a stand against his unprecedented government overreach into American lives and businesses, says Idaho Governor Brad Little. Idaho, 6 other states, and the University of Georgia's Board of Regents sued over the mandate in October, calling Biden's order illegal and overbroad. The parties wrote in the lawsuit the mandate as the federal government has conceived and thus far implemented applies not only to contracted employees working on federal contracts, but also to an employee that may have contract with somebody working on a federal contract, if you can imagine. There are no exceptions for employees that work alone, outside, or even exclusively remotely, for God's sakes. Without a preliminary injunction, companies without enough vaccinated employees would be forced to choose between firing them or losing government contracts. The White House did not respond to this in any way, shape, or form. And of course, they did that because the media is not going to hardly tell you this. They're going to call it a bump in the road. It's temporary. It is not temporary. It is here to stay until a court says otherwise, just like all of this overreaching by our own governor that says, until a court says otherwise, you're going to follow my rules. Well, in this case, a court has ruled and said that none of these mandates are going to be legal. The judge went on to say it is casting doubts on the legality of the mandates, and it goes on to say that they are again likely to prevail when the full case is heard. That means federal contractors. That means those large employees. It means all of those covered under OSHA. Courts have stopped it all. There is none of it that's real. If you believe anything you're hearing in the media, they are lying to you. So it is vital for you to share the information, share the articles everywhere you can. They're being blocked from being open and shown, but there are certain sites that certainly, like Epic Times, The Hill, The Blaze, that have absolutely shared the details of this. So I want you to go there. And if you're on locals, you can hear all of this censorship free. And honestly, we don't care about the rest of the platforms. We do want to keep them as long as we can, but we're simply not going to kowtow any longer to the censorship. You know why that is? Because the digital revolution is now here. The promises that we made early in the year and the huge financial commitments that we had agreed to make only a couple of months ago are coming to fruition. Our new website launched a couple of nights ago, standupmichigan.com, same website. It's not even really a website. It's going to be an entire media platform. Think of the Blaze, think of someplace like even M Live, where it's going to be completely interactive. It is built on our own platform. It's called an API, but basically it means it is not a website built on a backbone of anything that social media can touch. It is housed, it's duplicated, the servers, our security is there for you, and it's there for us to be able to communicate and never have the ability to have our voices be silenced again. This is going to include our emails in the very near future. And the most important thing is for you to sign up. And early next week, we're going to have a new sign up on this new website. But for now, you're going to be able to see a little bit there. And the reason I wanted to share that with you is when you go there, you will see the link to the peer reviewed article from Tammy and Kristen and the other experts right on the homepage. You can click on that. There's a $1 fee, 99 cents, I think it is, for you to be able to download a copy of that, for you to share with the people that you work with, like I say, to communities, county commissions, whoever it is that needs to hear and see the truth beyond even the court's ruling, but the fact that they just have no standard, they have no ability to implement anything like this without Congress's approval when it comes to OSHA, and that is on the homepage. The second thing that's on the homepage is the ability for you to purchase COVID the Lockdowns. This is the first one in a series. Hundreds and hundreds, actually going on almost 1,000 of you have ordered this DVD. It cannot be shown or shared on regular social media. We have hard copy DVDs so you can watch it and share it with others. The link to purchase this one, which is available to be shipped to you in 1 to 2 business days, is available also on that homepage. And only 48 hours ago, not available to ship yet, but pre-orders are available now for COVID Land 2, The Mask. Now, one is the lockdowns. It's going to literally take you back into how easily we gave up our freedoms and liberties in the name of fear and a virus in March and April of 2020. It goes through what they told us in the beginning, the lies that were told along the way, and how easily they manipulated and controlled the vast number, the largest percentage of our individuals, our churches, our businesses, and our people. We have to take these freedoms back, not have them given and doled back to us as a government chooses. That is covered in the lockdowns. Under the Mask, which again was produced mostly last year, Stand Up Michigan is a producer of this 5-part series. This is the second part, and this goes through the beginning of the story last April and May when they were telling you they were not necessary. We have on here all of the recordings from all over the world of what they said then and what they then began saying in the summer, what they said through the fall and winter, and even what they're saying today. This is powerful because it talks about and shares information about how this is affecting your children. So we urge you to pre-order this. You'll also see on here, I know I got a glare. You'll see that Tammy, Clark, Kristen, Megan are all in COVID Land, The Mask, talking about their expert understanding and opinions, not opinions, expert, basically testimony they've been giving of what is legal, right, healthy, not healthy, obviously, in regards to this situation. So we're asking for you to order those. You'll see on the side when they come. This is episode 1 and 2. Episode 3 is probably going to be January, could be February, and that is going to be called The Jab, except it's not the jab. You know what it's called. And it's going to go through that. It's being updated as we speak. It's going to be headed off to have sound in that edited done soon. But these two are something that you can share. The one, again, can be shipped right away. The other one is going to be a little bit coming. So we know, again, that we're winning on multiple fronts. We also know there's more and more Americans that are waking up to the craziness, to the fact that we have allowed these things to take over so much of our lives when we never should have allowed it in the beginning. Or and I know many of you out here will say it's never it didn't happen to me, but it did happen to the bulk, meaning 85-90% of the population. To be honest with you, for fear of losing their business. Again, we use the word for fear. So those are the two main things I wanted to talk to you about tonight, but I want you to be excited and understand that we are winning. We've got to keep the pressure on the legislators. We've got to keep the pressure on the media. We've got to keep the pressure, especially on local health departments, our county commissions, our school boards, and things like that. And that's why it's important for you to join a county chapter. When this website is fully launched in this next couple of weeks, we have a training for our county chapter leaders coming up later this week. This interactive website is going to allow you to create a profile just like you did on Facebook, just like you did on Twitter, just like you do on Instagram, that will have all of your background, your picture, your information. And it will basically then take you, when you join our website, to your own section of that site, meaning you'll also be able to see what's going on in your county, your region, what events are happening, what news is happening. And so it will actually be able to be more focused on not even just the national or the statewide stuff, but on your local county chapter and what is happening again in your own community. And that is going to allow the county chapters to not have to have a website, but to be able to utilize the section of this. And we're going to be able to allow other grassroots people, individuals, and organizations to be able to use this platform as well in the very near future. So we're going to be creating some new channels and some new programs and some new blog posts. We're going to begin posting our videos to Rumble, which will be available through there. As you know, with locals, Rumble's bought locals. So they're going to be utilizing some video storage. We can basically begin doing our lives on locals and have those automatically saved to our Rumble account. And then they can be posted to other social media channels without fear, again, of any type of censorship. As you might have also heard, Rumble just announced and I posted this as well, a a deal basically with Trump's new social media site that's going to be called Truth, that's going to be coming out in early 2022, and they have struck a deal with Rumble, which means that with locals and Rumble being together, we chose the right social media community. We knew that it was created by Dave Rubin and the Blaze. We knew that it was supported by many of the conservative talk show people, and it was obviously in its infancy when we joined. But now we have again almost 10,000 of you there, and we need more and more of you to join. The $3 a month simply is not something you cannot afford. It is less than a cup of coffee from any drive-through, just about anywhere, once a month, for you to be able to support in some way, shape, or form the locals community and have censorship-free information. We are going to offer again maybe a small 30-day promo code that's going to be for the maybe the month of December or January, but after that it's going to be $3 a month because we simply need the support, because we're going to be needing to hire additional staff for content and to keep you up to date and informed, because 2022 is going to be an absolutely fantastic year for conservatives and conservative voice. So I've got about 5 more minutes, and I see people talking about an update on Unlock 2 signatures. I believe we will have our first update on some totals that have been turned in and counted next week, is my guess, certainly before Christmas. They got mailed to a couple different locations. We didn't ask for them until just a couple of weeks ago. And then there also was a holdup because, believe it or not, the Board of Canvassers were looking at some little box that was supposed to be printed on the ballots to say if you were a paid circulator or not. And obviously, Mark Brewer and his whole team has sued, saying that it should have been on basically retroactive on some of these sheets. And so all of those things are there. So Unlock 2 is going to be should be able to give an update with some sort of number by next week. Secure My Vote is a little ways off because they delayed, literally only been going for 2 to 3 weeks. But these are going to happen. They are also looking to add a number of staff people that are going to be helping to get the circulation done through the winter. And they continue at Unlock to continue to look for locations there that would allow them to come inside and be able to collect signatures in each of our county areas and chapters. So stay tuned for that. I'll do a separate live specifically there, and I'll share that onto the Unlock to Reform MI as well. And we will give an update on that this next week. The other thing I wanted to share with you is some latest information regarding some polling. And I'm only doing that because it's important for you to know where people stand. And so, Americans today, this is a Quinnipiac poll that just came out. And it is saying that Americans say 46 to 38% that they want to see the Republican Party win control of the House of Representatives this next year. Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly back their own parties, but independents say 41 to 31 they want to see the Republicans take over, and Americans say 46 to 40 they want the Republican Party to win the Senate. And it's again a 10-point differential in independents, 44 to 34. This is a great poll. It follows up with so much of the information we've seen that is out there. Now, here's what I want to say about that. Electing people by party affiliation is not the important factor only for 2022. It is electing individuals who stand for freedom and liberty and run under the party affiliation that is likely, 98% likely, to be under the banner of a Republican Party. We are looking to take back our party. We have some new strategic plans for 2022 that are going to be so exciting for Stand Up Michigan members and for all of you out there. All of your other grassroots groups are going to share in this information. We're going to be working in tandem. We are going to create an incredible amount of people that are going to be trained, and we're going to identify, recruit, and have people sign up to run for local offices, for congressional seats, and we need to make sure that they're on the record to stand up for freedom and liberty and for the Constitution and for the offices in which they hold and the oaths in which they give when they are elected. We're going to also hold those that are running for reelection to put them on record to make sure that when we take control of the governorship and the Secretary of State and the Attorney General and hold the House and the Senate in 2023, that we're actually going to pass law that's going to protect us for the future. Because if we win for win's sake only, we might as well let the Democrats win. We might as well leave the Whitmer right there if we're not going to get in there and change the laws when we have the opportunity, which means we're going to have these laws written. Some of them have already been passed, and she's vetoed them. But we are going to get them ready, and we're going to have them on the books, and we're going to make sure that everyone running at a local and a state, congressional, and Senate level are going to commit to putting these up, putting them on the floor, and voting them through so that we can change the trajectory of our state. I want us to look much more like Florida and South Dakota than we do look like New Jersey and New York and California. The first thing we have to do is show someone the door. That's going to happen next November, and guess what? We're only a few weeks away from being in that election year, which means we have to get to work now. It means we cannot just spend time on social media reading posts and complaining about what happened in 2020. We are going to change things based on looking at the pattern that happened in Virginia because we were involved there. We know the people, the grassroots leaders who helped drive it there, and we are creating a template that we need your help in order to carry out. And that vision is going to be shared for the first time. Just a little bit of that is going to be shared next week, Tuesday, at the Kent County Stand Up Michigan meeting. And you can see that posted, that event. Again, it is the Kent County Stand Up Michigan meeting. We'll post it on our Facebook. We'll post it on our locals community as well. We'll also send it out in an email so that if you can make it there, there is going to be some incredible speakers. There's going to be a video shared. There is going to be a special guest. Garrett Soldano is going to be at this event. It is their Christmas party for the Kent County Stand Up Michigan chapter. So we're going to enjoy some fellowship time afterwards. but we're also going to lay out a bit of the state of the state, or the state of stand up, as we head into 2022. And we know that if you want to hear that in person, if you want to get incredibly fired up, if you want to be emotional and know that together we're stronger, that we are going to take back our party, that we are going to take back our state, and we're going to take back our country. And we're going to return it to the principles in which the country was founded upon. And those are biblical principles, godly principles. And we're going to uphold. And the great thing is, they're already written in the Constitution, they're already guaranteed to us. We simply need to hold them tight. We need to hold them dear. And we need to basically hold the people accountable that are elected to office. So if you can come, I would ask you to come to that Kent County meeting. It's going to be a packed house, but I am hoping, I am hoping that we have the opportunity to be able to um, give you just a little bit of a visual and a vision of what is coming and what we need you to be a part of in 2022. And I'm just excited to be able to share that with you here. Again, we'll post where that's there now. And I don't know if we have any last bit of questions. I see a bunch of people here talking about our current governor, and I couldn't agree with you more. But you know what? I want to turn our anger into action. I want to turn our fear into faith. And I want to basically begin uh, joining together and creating a plan out of the playbooks that the left has used for so long. I'm going to use the term community organizing because that's what we're doing, not just for an election, but for all time. We're going to change the way we do things in our party, but it's going to be done from the bottom up, from the grassroots up, not from the top down. They're going to come down and meet us, and we're going to ask them for support along the way. But they're not driving this ship. We are. We, the people, are driving the ship because ultimately we are the solution. It will never come from the government. So, what I've got here now, guess what? I'm going to draw the winner. I don't know those of you that have it, but I wanted to show you this. So, this is a handmade quilt made up of over 25 t-shirts that were the power of one could lead to the power of many. It also has in the center a Stand Up Michigan shirt, and the back side of this has American flag print. The size is printed there too. I think it's like 60 by 60. It fit nicely on a queen size bed. But it is a terrific quilt, and it's also a great piece to have. It's a one of a kind, and we put it up and sold tickets for it over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And every name that of the people that put in here are in this drawing. And without further ado, I'm going to reach inside here, and I'm going to draw out the winner, and then I'm going to post it on here for people to see. And the winner is Jennifer Stewart. Jennifer Stewart, if you are watching, you are the winner of the Stand Up Michigan Quilt. And I'm going to post that in here under our chat. Jennifer is the winner. And what I'm going to do is we will get in touch with Jennifer if she's not on. I will be sending her an email shortly to let her know. We'll be sending this off to her, and we're going to get some pictures from her of this and then post them up on social media. And I might even be able to have her on and join when she's got it in her possession before the holidays ever come. And congratulations, Jennifer. It was a great fundraiser. We used it as a fundraiser also, and it was the idea of several of our great admin people who have just been tirelessly working for so long, but they had ideas of raising some money towards the cost of our very expensive website. I shouldn't say website, social media and media platform. But we were able to take in ticket sales of over $2,000 for the cost of this quilt, and that money goes directly towards the support of the website. You can also donate on the homepage there. We're going to need your support. We're going to have some emails to you shortly. We're going to have a fundraising campaign through the end of the year because we simply have to raise additional money in order to support all the efforts that we have and the goals that we have for 2022. Anybody have anything else that they want to have followed up with? I know it's been a while. We've got a good number of comments that have been shared here. I just wanted to, I'm going to show it to you one more time. You'll see a picture of it when they have it in their possession, but it is beautiful colors. And again, made up of 25 beautiful Stand Up Michigan shirts. And we're going to do something like this again in the near future. And so we just thank you for joining this evening. We are winning, we are gaining, and spread the word. Take this information, go to our Facebook page, the YouTube channel, or the locals platform, and take these articles and share them far and wide, because the media simply isn't going to tell us about the victories that we're having. They always want to stomp those down and talk about more fear and more variance and more things, and just don't listen to it. Enjoy, hug your children, hug your family, have a wonderful Christmas holiday. We'll be back with you next week. And if you can join us at the Stand Up Michigan Kent County meeting next week, Tuesday, I believe it is at 6 o'clock or 6:30, but we'll post it on there, and we have it. I think it's already on one of the platforms. We look forward to seeing you there if possible. If not, we'll be joining you with some more news and up-to-date information real soon. Have a great evening.